Okay, guys, this is really exciting because the next week in classes here at Auburn Jiu Jitsu and Auburn MMA, we're going to do with the kids just grappling games. The whole week will be just grappling games. And so grappling game number one that's really beneficial with kids is you have your kids lying side by side, but head to toe, toe to head. And as soon as I say go or hajime, they try to sit up and they try to take top. Whoever takes top wins. There's an issue here, and that is they can bump heads when they sit up, so make sure that you teach your kids to have their hands in front of their chest. And then the other issue that I've seen through the years is you'll have one kid that will do this. They'll take their leg and they'll try to chop over the person's their friend's at chest or face, and that could be dangerous. So make sure they don't do that. So it looks something like this. Ready, hajime. In that instance, whoever takes top wins that game. Okay, friends, so this is grappling game number 2 for kids. You could use this for adults, but mainly for kids. So this is called crisscross applesauce back to back. So what you do here is as soon as I say hajime, they're going to turn. They are not going to stand up. Don't let your kids stand up. And whoever takes top wins. Ready, hajime. Okay, friends, grappling game number 3 for kids. You can do it for adults, but this is for kids. Is you start back to front. So little Ethan is in front, little Isaiah is in the back, and there's no hooks and there's no seatbelt. They start with their hands and their knees. As soon as I say hajime, Isaiah will try to get his hooks and seatbelt, and Ethan is going to try to turn around and not let him get the hooks and seatbelt and take top. Ready, hajime. Okay, guys, so this is grappling game number 4 for kids. So you're going to have little Ethan on his back, and then you have little Isaiah trying to pass his guard. This teaches the kids to pass the guard and also teaches the person on the bottom to have good guard recovery skills. So it looks something like this. Hajime. Okay, guys, so this is grappling game number 5 for kids. So little Ethan is in the turtle position. Little Isaiah is with his chest on his back, and he's heavy. And as soon as I say hajime, he'll have 2 options. Option number 1 is to topple the turtle on his back, or option number 2 is to take the back, put the hooks, and seatbelt. So it looks something like this. Ready, go. Okay, friends, so this is a great game to play with your kids. You can play it with adults as well, but mainly for kids. So this is duck, duck, choke. As you know, you have duck, duck, goose. So with duck, duck, goose, you go around and you do duck, duck, goose. With this one, you're going to go duck, duck, choke. So let's say I go duck, duck. Let's pretend there's other kids over here. I go duck, 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 duck. And when I get to Coach Easton, I go choke. Okay, friends, we want to go over a couple of safety. So this happens quite a bit with kids, but it can also happen with adults. When Isaiah's on the bottom and he's in the turtle position, and Ethan's on top trying to get his hooks in, you see this a lot with kids. Even though they get advanced, they still do this. And that's when he's like almost like flying on top of him like an airplane, and there's no hooks and seatbelt on. So all Isaiah has to do is pick up his bottom, and little Ethan's forehead goes to the mat and can potentially hurt his neck. So you want to be aware of this situation, talk to the kids about never doing this, and of course what they want to do is always have their hooks and seatbelt and be strong in that position, and that will avoid that injury. Okay, friends, so be aware of this situation. Happens a lot with kids, but again, it can happen with adults. That is, when they're grappling, Ethan's on the bottom, and he's pancaked out in this position, right? So he doesn't have his knees underneath him, and then either a child or adult will sit on them. They get their seatbelt in, and then they don't know any better, so you need to be aware of this. They start to pull back on their back. This, as you can see, could be potentially bad for his lower back. It could break his back. It could hurt him. So make sure you never let the kids or adults do this position. How to roll your partner correctly and not injure their back. So if Ethan's in this position and he's pancaked, Isaiah does not want to pull back on his back. So instead, he gets his seatbelt, and then he rolls him sideways, keeping his opponent/friend safe, and then he puts his hooks in. Now you can do real jiu-jitsu without injuring your partners.